All right, welcome to our series of instructional webinars designed to support the school annual yearbook program. Our goal today will be to introduce you to the new features in the program for the 24 season. New to the program is the new page ladder and updated and improved page mover. This webinar will be approximately 20 at the longest 30 minutes. So let's go ahead and get started. All right. And to get to the new page ladder, we're simply from our home screen right here. We're going to go up to plan and then click on page ladder. Now here you will see the page ladder has a completely new look. The pages are slightly larger. They are kind of how they're set up in the book. Is page one being the first page you get to when you open the cover, and then the subsequent pages. One of the advantages of this is if we can go down here to the bottom, and you will see that the thumbnail is slightly larger, so you can see the pages a little more clearly. So you don't have to squint as much to kind of see them. You get a much larger preview of those pages. So let's start with the first thing here. We're going to start with this little button right here. This is the start with last year. Before you had that teal box that said load last year's pages, load last year's descriptions. That is now gone, and it's now this button right here, this start with last year. So when we click on this button right here, we're going to get start with last year, copy pages, designs from previous year on to our current page. We want to check that box right there. It will automatically be checked, but make sure it is. We're going to click continue. Now it's going to say, are you sure? You cannot undo this action. And what they mean by undo this action is there's no more, when you did it last year, you had an undo button. That's what they're meaning. There is no undo button anymore. So once you move your pages forward, they're moved forward. There's no undo to clear all your pages. So once we hit the continue button, you will see all of our pages from last year are now here. Now, one thing you're going to notice, we're just going to go ahead and click on this page right here. One thing you'll notice is this gibberish right here where this text box is. That is simply to hold the text box location and the size. Anything that was written in there last year, you'll have to either rewrite it or um, update it or do whatever you need to do in this box. But this is basically just to hold the box as a placeholder. And so this right here, this little like looks like a chain or whatever. This is your DPS page. So this is how you know this is a page that's dependent on something, something that's crossed the middle line, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Okay, so let's go around the pages here real quick. So right here, you're going to see 001, 002. This tells you what page you're on. The box right here to select the page, and we're going to talk about some of the extra added features this year for selecting multiple pages. So first you have the lock right here. Currently this page is unlocked. If we were to click that, it will show it locked and it'll show it as a yellow button. So that way as you're looking and you're seeing what pages are locked, the yellow button, the yellow lock gives it away. Next is the hide feature. So if we click this button right here, we can actually hide a page. This is for if you want to hide a page because it's a dedication page to a retiring teacher, a page to your staff to thank them for their hard work this year, or for any pages that you just don't want anyone to look at quite yet. That's what this page is. That's what this little hide is right here. And you can click that and it shows the page again. Next is the printer icon. This is the view as a PDF. So once we click this button right here, as you can see, it will open up in a PDF file. And then there is our page right there. We can print this off. If you print it off, make sure you print fit to page. So if we go to print this right here, we want to make sure that we do fit to printable area or fit to paper. If we did default, as you can see, some of it gets cut off here at the side. So that's what we want to do, print to fit inside the paper or fit the page or whatever your computer says. All right. So next we're going to look at the color status set here at the bottom. It's a lot more pronounced this year than the previous years. Right here, the red is not started. When you're moving pages, when you do the start to with last year's, anything in the red, the pages from last year's will flow onto. Anything in yellow, um, like down here in progress, your pages from last year will not be set. It will not go onto these pages because these pages are considered in progress. There's either something on them, something that was done on them, something that was saved on them. They're considered in progress. So the pages from last year will not flow onto here. Also, there is green. Green means completed. These are pages that you have finished completing. Uh, Black is submitted. So these are pages that have been turned into us to begin printing. So next, you're going to see this little square right here that says no section on top of all the pages. We can add sections to our book, such as like first grade classroom, second grade classroom, staff, whatever you need to. Here in the upper left-hand corner, we're going to come to sections. We're going to click on sections. And then we're going to see add section right here. So you can click into that and you can do staff and either hit your enter button or come to the plus sign and hit the plus sign and add staff right here. And then you can also do, I'll type it here in a minute. We do first grade, do the enter, and then there's first grade right here. Now, next to each one of these, you're going to see a little circle with a little teal circle with a 0 in it, and we'll explain it here in a second. Now, to get these onto the pages, you could do this one of two ways. First, you will see that section right here went from gray to this navy blue. That's because we have stuff set up. It's because we have stuff here underneath the sections. So we can actually click on this down arrow and then to the tab, we actually have first grade staff. So we have stuff that's now clickable. Or we can come over to first grade, click and hold, and we can, as you can see, there's a teal outline around each page, either one page, both pages. So if we wanted to, we could just drop this right here, and then we can see right here where this teal is, it's now first grade. If we wanted to make this staff, we can come over here underneath the drop down, click staff and staff. Then over here, you will see that now went from 0 to 2. That's how many pages the first grade now has. So if you're a school that has, we can only have 4 of each class. So now you can actually keep track of the number of pages each class has right here. Also, while we were doing this, when moving all these pages over here, you will notice right here in teal it says successfully saved. There's no more save button anymore, so you don't have to save your page ladder as you're doing it up. It automatically saves for you. So next, you'll notice that there's no more descriptions. As I said earlier, we don't have any descriptions anymore. Instead, what we have is topics right here. So underneath sections, next is topics. Same thing with sections. Well, in topics as in sections, you can actually type what you want. So right here, we're going to say for the staff page on page 2, we're going to call that staff candidates. And as we're typing, you're going to have suggestions pop up right here. So if we want this one, we're going to click on this, click on the plus sign, and here's our staff candidates. So we can click and hold, drag it over to the page, let go, and then here's our staff candidates right here. Next to it is Smart Topics. So if you want to go in and say under academics, I want um, I want art, and then I want, let's see, we're gonna do PE. We had a mathathon or whatever. We can click that. We come back up to academics. We can go to fall, and we can say, well, we had that fall, the fall play, or spring. We can say we had that spring musical. And as you're clicking all these, if you go back to my topics, they're showing up here under my topics. So you can always click and hold here. Like I said, you put them on both pages, and then there's your descriptions right there. Next is staff. So if you need to assign staff, we'll talk about adding staff in the next webinar. But if you need to assign staff to some of these pages, all you have to do is click and hold, and you can assign a staff member to this page, another staff member to this page. Now you can only do two, and it will actually let you know right here. Pages have a maximum of two assigned staff. So same as last year, you can only assign two. This year, you can only assign two. If you ever need to remove staff, just click the X right next to their name. Uh, Staff candidates right here. If you need to remove this, all you have to do is just click the X right next to it. If you delete, or if you want to delete, there's a little pencil right here. So you can say, well, I didn't want an art page, or I don't want this page, or let's say I want to delete this page. It may say, like, hey, these tags are already used on a page. Do you want to delete them? Just click on delete, and you can delete this area. Click on done, and there you go. So some of the things we're going to quickly show you. Here, the next tab is deadlines and masters. Don't worry about that. It doesn't concern you, and you don't have to do anything under those. Um, Next, you're going to see list. Uh, it's just another way to view the page ladder. Honestly, stick to this. Don't worry about the list or groups. Here under preview is where you can actually preview the book a little bit. You kind of see how things are flowing. It's running a little bit slow for me. Here we go. So you can kind of look at the book just a little bit, kind of see how things are looking, how they're shaping up. You can also go to showcase in a virtual book and do things that way. But this is just one less click here, then click here. It's simple. Just click this one, scroll down. That's it. Next is the page mover, and we'll talk about how this has been updated and much nicer than the previous page movers. All right, so right up here in the upper right hand corner, this is where you can switch from both pages to single pages. So as you can see, both pages are together side by side. But if we click on single, we get this little split down the middle. And one of the nice things, and I'm glad they added this, is if we need to ever move a page, like say page 26, 27, we need to move it in front of 10 and 11. So if we click and hold, and then we move it up, you will see that all the pages in real time are moving to their new location. So you can actually see in real time where these pages are going to go. Also, if you look, page 26, 27 are still right up here and right up here. So you can still see what page you have selected in case you forget, or in case you start like, well, do I want to hear or do I want to hear? And like, wait a minute, what page did I have? It's right there, 26, 27. Then once you let go, it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to make this move? We're going to click that. And then that 26, 27 went away. It's now 10 and 11. So now the 26, 27 is now this new page right here. And if you need to, you can always move it back. So here we have a DPS page. So if we ever need to move single pages, like I said, we're going to click this button right here. Now here's this DPS page. So if we need to move this one, say right here, say we want it to be number 14, you'll notice 14 and 15 is not moving. It won't let you split those pages. So you don't have to worry about those pages being split up. So, but if we want 13 down here, you'll see it will go. So watch 13 right here. You'll see those pages, the DPS pages don't move. They're just staying right there. Um, let's see, page 16 right here. You'll notice page 16 actually shows up right before 14. So again, those two pages won't move because the last year and the previous years, if you tried to move some pages like this, sometimes double spreads would get messed up, especially if they're DPS pages or you couldn't move them. So this year you can actually move single pages without having to do anything to those pages. So now, if anytime you make a mistake or you need to redo something, you can always click on undo and you can always undo those pages right there. Then, of course, once you go back to the ladder, then all the changes are already done for you. All right. At this time, does anyone have any questions? You go ahead and put your questions in the chat right here. And those of you that just joined us, yes, you will receive a recording of this as soon as it's done. DPS page means it's a page dependencies. So something like this, you can see that this whole page stretches across. So these two pages are now bind because you cannot split that image. Please talk to your advisor to get the login information for last year. All right, any more questions about the page ladder, page mover? Yes. Yes, if you start with last year's template, you can edit them right out of the box. So if we did something like this, we can always, um, like come down to here, fix our image frames right here, or our flow element right here, switch that over, kind of fix this up a little bit. Maybe we didn't like that. That clip art right there, so we can remove that clip art, come over here, grab a clip art right there. There you go, brand new clip art. Nope, I don't like the whole thing. Here we go. Delete the whole page. Come up to your backgrounds. Start with a blank page if you want. So, all right, let me do this outro real quick, and if anyone still has any more questions, I can answer them. So thank you for joining us today. Hopefully, by showing the examples of the new page ladder, page mover, this will help ease any planning or creation of your yearbook. Feel free to join us next time as we review logging in to the program, familiarization with the page ladder. We'll go into a little more detail on that one. Font selection, creating an image, share account, that's to replay it, transferring materials from your 23 book to the current book, and it's very important. You'll want to tune in for that, and we'll explain why you need to do that now. And the importance of sending us your portrait CD provided by your school photographer. So I want to thank you all for tuning in, and thank you all very much for showing up and all that. And we're going to go ahead and end the recording, but